So today we are going to an Easter dinner with relatives, and we're just on our way and heading there. And it's been a real kind of roller coaster of a week between business, health, and kids and different things. And I don't know, I just thought we'd talk about that for a minute. The roller coaster for me was my health, and anybody who knows me personally knows that I'm a very health conscious person. Everything from like really just trying to take care of myself, vitamins, nutrition, trying to dial it in, training. I've done everything, just a lot of weightlifting, stretching and stuff at home. Really experimented with a lot of different nutrition techniques, different diets, ketogenic, just clean eating, organic, all that sort of thing. So it's very important to me, my health. And despite all of that, I have really gone backwards in my goals all year long, basically for the last like 8 months, 8 or 9 months, maybe even longer than that. And it's been a very, very frustrating journey trying to solve the mystery. And I've been through naturopaths, trainers, different sorts of things. And in fact, this is like probably my most insecure and like vulnerable thing to really talk about, but it is a big part of my life, and I spend a lot of time on it, trying to figure things out. So yeah, despite my very, very best efforts, things have been going backwards, like going further away from my goal. And you can imagine, if you've ever been there, how frustrating that is. So the roller coaster for me this week was just dialing in things even more and yet going backwards even more. So clearly something is not right. And I came to a conclusion through connecting the dots. One thing I've started doing a lot more that gave me this conclusion is tracking everything. So tracking my food, tracking my cycle, tracking my moods, my sleep, my stress, basically all the big factors in life. And I would say that probably, well, number one, the good news that I have come to is that regardless of what I've been doing, my going backwards does not have to do heavily, anyways, for the most part, with like a bad diet. Because I have followed everything to the T. Like I said, I've been working with trainers, nutritionists, and naturopaths. And you know what? I eat really clean. There's always room for improvement, but like cleaner than I ever have. So that's going well. And despite that, nothing's happening on the scale, nothing's happening in the inches or measurements or anything like that. I got some lab work done last fall, and it came back that my thyroid levels were off. My T3 specifically was like half of what it should be. So the naturopath got me on some natural desiccated thyroid, which I was expecting maybe some kind of good results from that, just because I've never done that before. And so I thought, oh, it's a thyroid problem. Well, this makes so much sense, and why, I don't sleep well. Because that's another thing is I've struggled with insomnia ever since I had kids. I have had cycles of insomnia. So it's not every single night, but I'll have like 3 or 4 good nights in a row and then 2 or 3 horrible nights in a row. And that cycle, I know, has affected hormones. It's affected all kinds of things, your ability to recover when I'm training really hard. Like I was doing lots of intense like metabolic training in the gym with trainers. I would actually go backwards. I would actually gain body fat, which is baffling. You're just like, how is this even possible? So struggled with sleep, thought I had a thyroid issue, went on medication, and I recently had some more lab work done just to check up on that. And I'm realizing that, by the way, that lab work and data is everything. That data tells the story. Progesterone is a very important hormone for females, and essentially it balances estrogen. And so for a woman, if say my estrogen is in an okay range, but if your progesterone is too low or totally deficient, just by default, you are now in estrogen dominance. And I believe that this has actually been the case for months, maybe years. And in fact, I've been reading more and more about this. And I read that a normal woman produces progesterone from her ovaries, and when a woman is pregnant, her placenta takes over that job and produces the progesterone. I literally just learned this today. And that when you give birth, that job has to switch back to your ovaries. And a lot of times for women, it just has a hard time switching back over to producing that. And now I've had 5 babies in 10 years, 5 and 10. So I can say without a shadow of a doubt, I am almost certain when I look at all the symptoms and I look at my lab results, I look at that has probably been the issue for me, between the insomnia and just a whole bunch of different symptoms that I have had, along with the inability to lose weight despite having an amazing diet, amazing nutrition, amazing trainers and people around me. Nothing has worked, and in fact I've gone backwards from a body fat percentage. I would say that I feel healthy, and today I took before photos and video. It's hard to be kind to yourself. It's so hard to be kind to yourself when you're not where you want to be. When I looked at in the mirror right at my before photos, I was like, okay, I'm not where I want to be, body fat percentage, but I look healthy. My skin looks healthy, I'm healthy, I have muscle, I've been taking care of myself, I take good nutrients. I think my insides are a lot happier than I realize, and if I just fix this hormonal issue, I think things are gonna fall into place, along with getting even more sleep and controlling my stress levels even more. I think I'm on a good track. So that's been my health roller coaster this week, and I'm gonna stay on it. I'm gonna not give up, I never give up, and dialing things in, tweaking things more. From a business perspective, we had quite a roller coaster week with a business in a good way, and we finished off being really happy with what happened. So how did you feel about this week in the business?
Great. What happened? What we wanted to happen.
Which was?
Profit. Profit is good.
It makes us happy. But so the month started off
better than
the previous few months. But it wasn't where we wanted it.
No, it wasn't where we wanted it. We've been struggling for a while to get our business into the position that we want to be in. Profit zone, essentially, without going into a bunch of details. And that took a lot of effort, and it took a lot of changes, a lot of simplifying in almost every way. Simplifying people, our staff, simplifying structure, and simplifying the technology and the way we use it, different platforms and all that kind of thing. And it took us, you and I, taking control of the marketing like we did in the first year of business.
Maybe explain what happened in the first year of business. When we started out, we bootstrapped it the whole time, the whole year. We didn't go into further debt than we were already before we started business. And actually in the first month of business, we paid off all our debt. So that was awesome. And that's how amazing it was from the first month onward was just like it was like a dream. We were in a daydream of some kind that was just beyond what we could imagine. So anyway, we hit our first 7 figures in the first 6 months of our business.
Yes.
We hit the second 7 figures by the end of that year. So within 1 year, we had surpassed multiple 7 figures.
Yeah, multiple 7 figures. So that was when we were in the driver's seat of the marketing. I was less actually involved in the management of the marketing at that point than I am now, currently. But nonetheless, you were in charge of all the copy, the videos, like
The content.
Basically, any communication with the public,
Messaging.
any advertising was done by you, controlled by you, and communicated by you. And we kind of thought that, oh, we're
growing.
We're growing. That means we have to delegate everything so that we can do more other stuff.
Which is good.
Which is great. That's fine. There's a place for that. And you have your music, so that's definitely important. In fact, your music business specifically is like the heart and soul of what we do at SMA. Without that, we wouldn't have a business.
Right.
Everything you do in your music, you're experimenting and testing things and having epiphanies, and then working them out, and then that translates into our teaching business. So we can't do without that. So you definitely need time to do that. Anyways, we thought that we needed to do less of the controlling aspect of it, and step back more into like the CEO management.
Yeah, where we just
role.
like own the business but don't run the business.
Right. We have other people running the business. We just, own it and show up to important meetings and make big important decisions, and then the team takes that and runs with it. That's what we thought we wanted. That's where we thought we had to go, and we spent about a year in that position.
Trying to make that work.
Struggling to make it work. Hiring marketing agencies. We went through 4 agencies.
Yeah.
And none of them could
get the results that we got.
They could not get the results that we got. And we knew that our results weren't like, what's the word? Unrealistic, because we did them. So, but what we did realize through going through 4 marketing agencies, is that no marketing agency is going to get the results that we want or that we can get, because A, they don't have the vision that we do, they don't have the skin in the game that we do, and they are serving other customers, so they can't give us the focus that we need and that we require. Therefore, it's not even realistic for us to expect them to get the results that we want.
Right.
So that's not an option for us. That means the only option for us is for us to run it ourselves, and maybe have somebody help us run it, like
assistants and managers,
somebody
and
to check the numbers and keep their finger on what's happening on a daily basis at a granular level.
Yep.
When we can't. But in essence, we have to be in the driver's seat. So now that we're in the driver's seat, we had our last week of March was insane.
It's my week.
We
had like a 90% profit in the last week.
90% profit in the last week of March. It's a number that we should be hitting, but we weren't hitting it with an agency. So anyways, we just proved to ourselves that we could do it, and that was incredible.
Yeah, we got to celebrate that.
And we're going to continue to do it. And we're just going to keep competing with ourselves every day.
Yep. And we found a good rhythm, actually, for like how we run our sales and promotions and what we're doing with that. So we have some goals that we want to hit before we leave for Europe, because we are going to be traveling to Europe this summer with our family. It's actually going to happen, and it's set in stone. We have our tickets, we have our house booked, and we're gonna be spending the first month in Ireland. So I want, there's some goals we have that we want to hit before we go. So that kind of keeps us propelling forward, and I'm incredibly goal oriented, and if I don't have that goal, if I don't have that number in sight, you're just kind of like wandering and like hoping it all works out. So that's not how we run the business. We have specific numbers we want to hit. So we're getting back to the basics with that, and so far this month was a win. So I'm happy with that. And how is your health and workouts and stuff this week?
Great.
How does working out play a part in your business?
I think it keeps you focused, and I think it helps develop a discipline that you wouldn't have if you weren't it all has to do with self-discipline, really, I think, and sticking to something and then seeing it through to the end.
Right, because you can't go to the gym and expect results in a week. And the same thing with business. Anytime you're making a change or have a goal, you can't just like make a change and expect the result in a week.
Yeah.
The accountability thing is huge.
Accountability, discipline is like super important. That's maybe for me personally, because if I wasn't doing that, I wouldn't be as disciplined as I am in other areas of my life. So it kind of spills over into everything else. And then also there's the health aspect of it. So I feel good, I feel healthy, I feel strong. You know, I've been working out for the last couple of years, going to the gym and everything. But in the last year, I decided that I needed a personal trainer, somebody to help kick my butt and keep me accountable and push me past my comfort zone, because when you're working out by yourself, and I think without a coach in any area of life, period, you're not going to push yourself to the max. All right, so I thought I would wrap up yesterday's video and let you guys know we had a great time at our family Easter dinner, and it was good. Got to visit with family and have some good conversation and all that kind of fun stuff. Kids colored eggs and had some scavenger hunt games and all that kind of thing. So that was cool. Anyways, today we're just taking it easy. It's Easter Sunday. Kind of crazy outside. We were going to go for a hike, but it's raining and snowing. And then this week, it's Leah and my 13th wedding anniversary. So we're going to go away for the weekend, next weekend, and go to a concert in Vancouver. So we'll be gone for a couple of nights. And it should be fun. So anyways, that's the end of this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you're on YouTube, and hit the little bell beside the subscribe button if you want to get notifications. And if you're on Facebook, like the page, follow it, and select See This First in your newsfeed. All right, we'll see you next time.